Hello friends, my name is Kailash Sharma. In this video, we will learn how to create user forms in MS Excel. For take an example, we will open a new Excel file first. So let's create a situation. Let's say we want to create a form for employee data. For example, we have employee ID, employee name, maybe a team name, then date of joining. I think this should be fair. So this is a new workbook. So first of all, we will save this file. So we'll click on Ctrl S and browse it to a proper location. We'll give it a name, employee data, and the file type should be macro enabled because we are going to write VBA codes into it. So it should be XLS M format. Okay. Now we'll go to the coding window. There are multiple ways. You can go like view code also. So we are into the code window now. So let's start with creating a user form. We'll go to insert and a form. Okay, it's a blank form. And first of all, we'll give certain names. So for example, our sheet 1 where we have added those 4 columns is sheet 1. So we'll give a meaningful name to all the objects. So here it is sheet 1. Instead of sheet 1, we'll give it as a proper name. We'll say WKS data. Okay. This user form also will give a meaningful name, FRM, let's say main. And this is the name, and the title on the top here, what it should say is employee data form. Okay. Now we need controls to add. So first of all, employee ID. So we'll add some labels to it. For employee ID, it will be a text box which will be required. So we'll say employee ID. Okay, we'll place it. Okay, so I'll change the formatting of it since I find this formatting better. Okay, we need alignments also. We'll do it. We'll make a copy of it and then paste it again. The second text box, we will use it for employee name. Okay. Then we need one more. In fact, 2 more. One for date of joining and another for team name. Let's consider the team name are fixed. So we need drop downs for it. So we will use combo box. So this is not the text box. It's a combo box. We'll place it properly. Try to make it same width. And then some changes to the style property. What is style? It says normally, okay, we will see. So it says drop down combo. So drop down combo, if it is set, that means when the user will see the drop down, they can type it also. It will allow them to type. So we may not want them to type their own options. So we will change the setting to list. So what does it mean after that is, you can see, I will not be able to type. I'm trying to type, but nothing is happening. So this is the property. Also the style property as well, we will change a little bit to make it similar to the other controls we have. Okay, good. Make a copy and paste. This would be our team name. Okay, let's see the order also. Okay, team name is 3rd and then date of joining. So date of joining again will be a text box. For date inputs in VBA, we have to use text box. There is no separate control which is available for date selection. So we are going to make use of text box. However, we will put a validation that even if the user types, if it is not in date format, it should not accept. So here, very last column, date of joining. Okay, let's do some alignment. Let's make it all as, let's say, instead of left, we'll make it to right aligned. Okay, then we'll make it to center. Okay, so options to work on the user form are not appearing. We'll make it appear using toolbox and the user forms. Okay, and then we'll see what we can use. These are alignment. So we'll make it as middle. So it should come in the middle section. We can make use of top or bottom also, but we are going to make use of middle this time. Okay, this is done. This is also done. And this is done. While these looks to be exactly same. However, these are disturbing. Means if you see, the J is closing here, but here the last character is here, so there is a difference. So we'll select them and we'll make them right aligned. So you'll see now it's all right aligned. So this is, we are doing some basic formatting. Okay, so we are done. Now we need some buttons also to work, whether to save the data or to delete the data. So let's say we'll create some buttons around it. So if we have the command button, we will say first of all cancel to close the form. Okay, again we'll do some formatting to it. So the height is 24 pixels, we'll make it to 21. This looks better, and we'll make it smaller since we need more buttons. Cancel, we'll put it, let's say here. We'll make a copy of it, Control C, Control V, and here we will say save, and then one more copy maybe says delete. Okay, what else it may be? Sometime it may be add new or reset button can also be there. So let's create one more as reset. Now why reset? Reset helps you to clear the data. Let's say there is already employee details are there and you want to add a new one. For that you have to clear these all controls. So for that purpose the reset might be required. We will see. If not required, we will delete them also. Okay, so we need some more space. So what we'll do is we'll make some more space. We'll increase the width. Okay, looks good. After this, we have to work on the name of the controls. So for example, if you click here, you can see what is the name. It is text box 1. So it's very difficult to know that or remember what is the name of each control. So we give a meaningful name as we have given it for sheet, then form. Same we will do it for all the controls. Apart from labels, you can rename them also, but you can leave them also. So we are not going to touch them, but for text box it is required, so we will do it. TXT means text box and then the name. It can be a short form also, EMPID. This is the name. Second, EMP name. So TXT EMP name. Third is drop down. So drop down DDN. Few people also use CMB. That is also correct. So I use DDN, which is drop down. Okay, and then team. Okay, so this is also text box, date of joining. If you notice, after TXT, the first letter is capital, and whenever there is a new word starts, a capital word is used. So TXT is small. After that, in employee, E is capital and name N is capital. Same way you will notice this is normally being practiced by the developers. So we are also making use of it. Okay, so next for command buttons we use CMD. Delete, CMD, reset, CMD save, CMD cancel. Okay, let's try to run it. Okay, looks good. So here is a problem. So if you see, when I press tab, this is going in the correct order. After that it goes to cancel, save, delete, and then reset, which is not the right order. Maybe we want, like, after this, employee name, team name, date of joining, it should go to save, then maybe it can go to cancel. First of all, after DJ, it should go to save, then cancel, and then maybe delete or reset. Let's see. So for that we are going to make use of a property called tab index. You can start with 0. Here if you see it is 1, so maybe 0 is assigned to this label. For label it doesn't make sense because the tab do not stop here. So I can make use of this. So I'll say this is 0. This would be the first control when the form gets open. Then it should be 1, it should be 2, then it should be 3, then here we want it should be 4, then let's say not cancel, we will make it to here, which is 5, then 6, and then finally this one 7. Let's see how it goes now. Tab. Okay, going the way we are expecting. So this is good. So in terms of form design it is done. Now we need to work on the coding part. So this is only the designing is done, and we have this data here. Let's try to click and try to work on it. Okay, so we will go to our form and first of all write the codes. For code, you can double click on anything, as well as you can go like this also. So first of all, we will create the form load event. What is form load event? Basically, whenever the form is getting loaded, we can define certain things, like the team name is coming as blank. We want that when the form gets open, the team name should be there. Okay, so that is part of form load, which comes under user form and then initialize. This is the one which we are going to use. We will also use option explicit. So what we want is, whenever the form gets open, the drop down, which is ddn team dot add item. First of all, we can also clear, just in case if it has got already something, we can clear it and then we can add it. While we know we have not done any addition, but it makes sense to still clear it. Add, what can be the first name? Let's say team A. What can be the second name? Team B and team C. Okay, let's see. Yeah, we are getting this. So now we have to work on the other buttons also, that what will happen, the code behind it. So first of all, let's use the easiest one, cancel. This code is coming on the top side. I will cut it and paste it on the bottom side. It makes sense to first organize the codes also. So the form event should always be on top and then control events. That's how a programmer should write. So we are also going to follow the same. So we have to close the form. How to close the form? Unload me. That's the way. Let's see again. For every step, whenever you are writing the code, it makes sense to test it. So you can see when I clicked on cancel, it got closed. Now double click on save and give the coding. What would be our coding? First of all, we have to think about all the scenarios, validations basically. What can be our validation? First of all, first validation is that all fields should be filled. That is my first validation. Second is the date of joining should be date format. So let's see. So if txt emp name or id first dot text is equals to blank, we will also trim it, just in case if the user is just simply supplying space. We don't want only a space, we need some character, so we are going to trim it. We are saying that if the employee id dot text is blank, or the second control, what is the second control? Name, txt emp name dot text is equals to blank, or ddn. Since it's a drop down, so we are going to make use of value. For drop down, we need to use value, not text. Okay, if this is also blank, and see that we are making use of or. What does it mean is, any of the condition is true, the code will stop or will give a message. So we are going to make use of or trim the very last is equals to blank, then okay. And here we will say a message box. Message box, please fill all the details to proceed. Okay, and we'll give them an information bar. Let's see. It's good to test every time whenever you are writing such codes. Click on save. You can see, please fill all the details to proceed. Even if I type it, I'll type it. Yeah, still getting. If I type it here, yeah, I'm not getting. That means it's working fine. Okay, but if you notice, we have a date of joining should be in date. So that control will also add validation. If is date, that's how we can check it. Is date txt date of joining dot text is equals to false. That means it is not the date. Then we should give them a message box. I'm going to copy it. Let's say what we will say, DOJ should be in date format. Okay, let's see again. Type it, select, type it. We are getting it. Let's see, we'll try to put something in a date format. 11th month, November, and 7th November 2020. Yeah, it is accepting. You can see. We can try another way also. Let's say 7th. Let's see if it works. Okay. Yeah, this is also correct format. So you can give any date format, but if you try to put something, it will accept, okay, this is not the date format. Okay. That's how it reads it. Now we are going to save it. So validation is done, and we know now that if the code has also already checked these details, then we need to save the detail. But how we understand that where we have to save the details? So that depends. So let's say we will first of all identify where our new row gets starts. Here we know it is row number 2, but how we get is there are different ways, but we are going to make use of the control key. So we'll go to very downside of the sheet, which is the last row, and we'll say control up key. So wherever we are reaching +1. Okay, so if let's say we had some data here and then again goes to last row, control up +1, so we will reach to row number 7. That's how we can do it. Another way is go to the top and press control down, but this may have a problem if you don't have any data at all. So we are going to use a first method. How we'll do it? We'll go to our coding. Okay, so we'll say what is the last row. We'll store it in variable dim l last row, or in fact we can say new row. Instead of last row, we'll say new row as long. Why long? Because if the data is crossing 32,000, after that the string cannot store those values. So long can be used to avoid that kind of scenarios for future. And we will say L new row equals to, what is our sheet name? The sheet name is WKS data. WKS data dot range first column. Since this all control up needs to be performed on first column, so A, which row? You can define the last row also, but here let's consider that it will never go beyond 10,000. Let's consider that the data will never go beyond 10,000. So that's how we are considering, and then dot end, which is the last cell, and excel up and get the row. Now as I said, we have to do a +1 to get the new row, because this will give the last row, but if we use the same one, then it will override the data. So we have to do a +1 here. Okay, now we have to write the code to save the details. So we'll say we have 4 details in form, so we will fill WKS data range first column, and row would be L new row. Okay, and then same we'll do it for B, C and D. B, C, D. Dot value is equals to, first is our employee ID, so it will be txt emp id dot text. We can do a trim also if we are expecting that some spaces may come, or depends on the control you want to put. So second is our name, trim txt emp name dot text again. Third was our team name is equals to trim ddn team dot value, and then finally date of joining is equals to trim txt date of joining dot value. Done. And it makes sense to also show them a message done. Let's say message done. We'll give a icon also, information bar. Makes sense to test it again. We'll type some numbers, name, then team, date of joining, save. Yeah, it is done. But here is a problem. You see, when I clicked on it, still I am getting it. By chance, if I click it again, it will add it again, which is a problem for us. What we have to do? We have to reset the form. We have to make it blank. So we are going to make use of reset. Well, right now it's not working. So first of all, let's write the code. Okay, again we'll not put it on top. We'll cut that event and paste it here at the bottom. And we have 4 controls, so we will set the value for each. Txt emp dot text is equals to blank, txt emp name dot text is equals to blank, then ddn is equals to blank, and then finally txt date of joining dot text is equals to blank. Okay, But how we will call it? So here we got the done message. Either we can copy this code and paste it here also or here also, but let's avoid duplicacy of code also. We are going to call this function. So what we can do is, before done, we will say call cmd reset click. So what it will do is, after performing this task, is going to click this reset button and then finally show the done button. Let's see. Okay, we are going to type something and okay, and 7th December this time. Save, and here you see got reset also. Very good. So you can't, incidentally you will not be able to click. Okay, so we are getting a lot of issues. See here, fill the details, date of joining should be in date format, and done. So what is the problem here? The problem is that after doing the validation, it should not go beyond that. The code should exit. So we have forgot to put the exits up. Okay, and same we have to put it here also, second validation. So any validation gets failed, we have to exit. We should not be performing the next task. Let's see now. You can see it's not giving multiple prompt this time. Reset is also working. We are left with delete. Okay, so how delete will work? We don't know which record to be deleted or so. So we will see that also, how we can make use of it. Now how to call? Obviously we can't expect the user to come on the screen, the coding, and then open this form and run it. Not like that. So we have to create some button somewhere here, let's say, and we will call it. So we'll go to illustrations, maybe one simple shape. Okay, we'll say open form. Okay, this is done. Make it some formatting. Okay, and we are going to assign a macro. So there is an option called assign macro, but before that we have to create a macro. So we are going to insert a module, and this module also will say mod main. Okay, make use of option explicit. Okay, and we'll say public sub open form. Okay, open form, and we are going to open the form. How to open the form? Name of the form, which is frm main dot show. You can see a model or modulus also. We are going to use default, which is model. Okay, how to call this function from our shape is, we will right click, assign, and you can see here it is appearing. Okay, let's see. Yeah, we got it. Okay, so we can make use of this and then add it. But how about editing or so? So we have to think about some situation. So we are going to use a double click of it. Let's say the user double clicks on the employee ID, should open the form and fill this detail automatically, and then the user can make use of editing. Okay, what we will put a control is, but that if you are double clicking on it, then you should not be able to edit the employee ID, because if you are editing the employee ID also, it will be difficult for us to know which record to be edited or so. So that way we will control it. So let's see. So how we will call this form on double click on the sheet? So that is a sheet event. We're going to use sheet 1, and here we have worksheet. It says selection change by default, but we are going to make use of before double click. Okay, before double click. This is not required. Again, okay, we don't have option explicit every time we have to add. So what we'll do is, we'll go tools. We have to go to options, and here require variable declaration. We are going to take it so that we don't have to type it all the time. Option explicit. Okay, now we are going to, on double click, we are going to open the form, but before that we have to ensure that the user double clicks only on column A, not to column B or C. So that also we have to control. Okay, so how we will do that? We will check the target. Target has the information that which cell or range the user has double clicked. So we are going to make use of. If target dot column is equals to 1, then only we have to perform certain task. Okay, else no. If it is something second column or any other column, we don't have to do anything. So that's the one thing. So first of all, we have to open the form, which is frm main.show. Okay, then we have to fill the 4 details. What is that 4 details? Which is text box employee id.text. Okay, that is one. Then second is name. Okay, third is drop down, and fourth is finally date of joining. Okay, and what it will contain, whatever column and row the user has selected, we can make use of the same. So we will say wks data dot cells, which row. Okay, which row, we will say whatever the user has clicked, target dot row. Which column? It will be column 1 here, because our employee ID is in column 1. So we are going to make use of that. And this will be like copy paste. This will be second, third, and finally fourth. What we also said is putting the control is that employee ID should not be editable. We'll see why. First of all, I will try to run it. Let's double click. Double click on second, third, nothing working. But double click on first worked. Okay, if you see here, it's not loading. We have to understand why. Okay, in first instance it didn't work. Now it's working. Also, if you notice, it went inside the cell. So when the user is double clicking, the cursor goes inside that, but we do not want it at least for column A. So we have to again put some more control. There is a property called cancel. So whenever user clicks on the first column, we'll use a cancel method. Okay, so double click. Yeah, got it. Double click, got it. Okay, I will try to type something, and then okay, it's not working the way we are expecting. So it's going 1, 2, 3, but it's showing here something else. On the second instance, it's creating. Okay, let's see how to debug this kind of situation. So we will see. Okay, so double click on this, F8 goes to show. Okay, and then okay, we are not getting into the code. After that, we may have to load it instead of show dot for m main. Let's see what happens. Okay, so load is working. However, we have to later loading, we have to also show it dot show finally. Let's see. Yeah, oh good, working, right? So it's a event that we have to correct it. Now this is done. Now what can be done is that user clicked on it and then it changes this also. So when we are saving, we should know which row to update. For that, we should know that what is the employee ID, and this employee ID will not be able to find it. So it is very difficult. So there are other ways to do it, is that when user double clicks here in a hidden column somewhere, we have to also store this row number so that we can edit that. That is one way. Otherwise, you can make this as disabled. We are going to make use of this second option, which is disabling this employee ID for the user so that the user cannot edit. So again goes to sheet 1, and after loading, filling everything, we have to disable this. How will disable it? Dot enabled is equals to false. Okay, let's see what happens. Yeah, you can see it's disabled. I can't do anything here. But if it is normal, then I am able to do. Okay, so now we have to make use of save also. Now if you see here, if I double click and I'll click on save, what will happen? Right now the coding says that always do addition in here, but that is not true for us. It's creating a duplicate. It's a problem for us again. So what we will do, we have to again put some more coding into it, saying that don't always go to the last row. Depends on whether the control is enabled or not. So we are going to check that validation. So if txt employee id dot enabled is equals to true, then only you should make use of this new row. Else we need to identify another row. How we'll get the row number? There are different ways, but we are going to make use of the loop here. So for that, I'll use counter counter as long, and here we will say for L counter equals to 2 till the last record of the sheet. So it goes from here till the last record. So last record is here. How to get? Same logic. So this is the logic. Okay, done. Then we have to check whether the employee ID is same as what is there on the form. If txt employee ID dot text is the same as what is there on the sheet at that particular counter dot range, first and L counter dot value, if both are same, then we know that which row to update, and we will put that new row to the same one, which is our L counter. Okay, let's try to debug. I'll put my cursor here to check whether it's working or not. Okay, double click and I will say put some more details, save. Okay, so it goes to this else condition, F8, and first record it didn't find it. Second record, is it true? Yeah, it is true. So it got that record, and then okay, after getting the record doesn't make sense to run the loop, so we have to exit the for loop, only the for loop, not the entire code. We'll try one more time. F8, yeah, we got that record, and exit from the for, and we will only update the record which was found. Run, working fine, right? Very good. So there may be some more controls. You may want to think that before adding it, employee ID has to be unique. It should not be duplicate. That kind of controls also you can add. You have to make use of the counter. So whenever you are saving, basically goes back here, whenever you are saving the record or doing an add new, here you can try to loop it and check whether the given employee ID already exists or not. If it exists, that means it's going to be create a duplicate employee ID. So you can warn the user, just like a validation, that you should create a unique. So let's see how we can implement that also. We'll do it fast this time. So here we will put a control saying if it is unable, that means he's going to add that record. Okay, so before that we will put a control. Okay, it's trying to find from the second record to the last, and if it is found, then it should say a message, please enter a unique employee ID. We will say like that. Okay, please enter a unique employee ID. Okay, and then exit sub. We don't have to further execute. Okay, right. So let's try it again. Everywhere, whenever we are doing something, we should test it. So we go here and then check. We'll say 1, 2, 3 only. Let's see. Test. Okay. Oh, please enter a unique employee ID. Yes, that is working fine. Okay. Yeah, it's working now. And what about double? When we double click, save it, yeah, it's working, right? Again, oh, it's going to, because of the duplicacy. So let's try to remove the duplicacy first, so that we don't have any situation like that. Okay, yeah, working fine. How about delete? So first of all, whenever user is doing add new or reset or so, then doesn't make sense to give that option of delete, because he's going to add new record. So add new record cannot be deleted, right? So we will put some controls there also. So first of all, whenever the user do a reset, the cmd delete should be disabled. Okay, that is one. When the user opens the form using edit, that time it can be made as enabled. Okay, cmd delete dot enabled is equals to true. Okay, so that control is added, and then we have to put the coding about delete. So we'll put up some validations or a user confirmation. We'll say, are you sure, like that. Okay, so if message box, are you sure, we'll give them maybe yes, no, and if this is going to be no, then exit. Okay, so if he's not sure, we'll click on no, and that will exit. If he's sure, what we need to do, we need to again look for the same row or employee ID using loops and then delete that record. How will delete? Let's see. So I'm copy pasting some code to help ourselves doing this fast. Okay, we need this variable, it's not yet declared. Okay, this is done. And if this is equals to same, yeah, correct, then we have to delete. So instead of here, we will have to write a delete code. How we delete? Okay, wks data dot, can we say row? Let's try it, not sure. Rows, wherever our counter is, and then dot delete. Oh, it's not working, not giving option, but let's see. Does it say shift or something? No. Row this dot delete. Okay, but if the user deletes this, the shape will be impacted. So we have to change some properties of our shape also. So it should not be moved or actually. Okay, so move and resize, no. Do not move. Don't do anything. Basically, that's what we will say. Let's try to delete this one and see what happens. Are you sure? No, I'm not sure. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. Oh, got deleted, right? But problem is that it's still showing that employee data. So what we have to do, we have had to click on reset. Okay, so there are another option is that close the form. That also can be done. So what we can do, we will close the form maybe. Okay, unload me, or what else we can do, click on cancel, basically cmd cancel dot click event. We can call this event. So are we done with all the options? Looks like that, because delete is working, reset is working, save is working, cancel is working, and we have put the validations also. So that's all in this video. Thank you very much for watching and learning with us.